Katie, and this is the How to Be a Minimalist YouTube channel. This video is part of a 3-part mini-series on Thanksgiving dishes. I am showing you how to make a chocolate cream pie, soft and fluffy dinner rolls, as well as a butternut squash soup. So I'm not going to put all 3 of those recipes into one video. It would be way too long. So I'll link those other 2 videos below. Right now though, I'm going to show you how to make soft and fluffy dinner rolls. Okay, kind of the important part about making these soft is having some kind of fat in there. When you think about traditional dinner rolls from like Costco or the grocery store or ones you make at home, usually they have milk, butter, and eggs in them. So I find that this coconut milk kind of acts as all 3, and it's sort of amazing. So you do not have to use this, but it really just works well. We're gonna need 1 cup, and you want to shake it really well before you use it so that you mix up the coconut cream with the kind of milk that's separated. I'm also going to add in kind of one of the secret ingredients, which would be baking powder. The dough whisk just gets things incorporated, and then you can go for it by hand and you can just feel what it's like. You want it to be really nice and soft and pliable, kind of like super fresh Play-Doh. Okay, so see how it's somewhat tacky for sure, but it's nice and soft, and you can kind of pinch it, and some will stick to your fingers. I could add a little bit more flour if I wanted to knead it longer, but this is actually enough for a dinner roll in particular. If you were working with a regular bread dough, it would actually be a lot more smooth than this, but since this is a dinner roll and I don't want it to actually form a ton of gluten strands, I don't want it to be super chewy. I actually want it to be soft and fluffy. I'm going to stop kneading here. So I'm going to drizzle a tiny bit of oil on here. This is the only area in which I still use a little bit of oil because I just find that the bread dough dries out and it drives me crazy. So I drizzle a little bit of oil in there, I roll the dough in it, and then I cover it up and I let it sit for about 45 minutes. Okay, my roll dough has risen. It's not a crazy amount. It's surprising how little it rises the first time. I think it's the weight of the coconut milk and stuff, but if you give it a really good second rise, it's great. I've got my very well loved cookie sheet with Silpat on it. I don't think it's a real Silpat. I think it's just like a Target thing. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and divide this in half. And then I'm going to divide that bit in half. You could actually weigh this if you want them to be like perfectly exact, but I am not going to do that. You can do it if you want to. So at this point you should have 4 pieces, and then you just pinch off each of those 4 pieces into 12. That way you then have 12 little pieces of dough that you can turn into your future delicious rolls. So basically I just kind of squish them in that way and squish them in that way, and you want to kind of keep pinching them, otherwise they can come undone and then they just are sort of flat. Still delicious, but a little flat. Oh, so smooth and beautiful. Okay, we're just gonna put these across, and with rolls you kind of want them to be close together, especially if you want them to look kind of like the grocery store, how they come out of a pan, but you do it however you want. Also, do not be afraid to double this recipe. Like, it is going to turn out really well. As long as you have enough rising time and space on your cookie sheet or whatever you're baking them on, you're good to go. What you need to do now is just let these guys rise, and they'll rise about 40 minutes, something like that. But you might find if you live in a warm climate, or if you're making these in the summertime, they might rise really fast the second rise. That's the thing about bread making. Temperature in the home, temperature outside, humidity, all of those things really affect bread making, especially altitude. That was a crazy one I learned more about this summer when we were really high altitude and I was baking some bread. It took forever to bake it. It was nuts. Anyway, so there are all of those different factors, but basically I'm going to let this rise until they're double and just really looking just perfect and just really nice and fluffy. They'll probably grow really close to each other. And on top of that, I'm going to preheat my oven about 15 minutes before they are done. So I'm going to set my timer for about 20-25 minutes, and then I'm going to turn on my oven to 375 Fahrenheit, and then I'm going to wait for that to preheat for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to pop these in the oven for about 20-25 minutes. Ooh, our dinner rolls are ready to be baked. I'm going to stick them in the oven. I will check them after about 15 minutes and probably turn them around so they bake evenly. They probably will only take 20-25 minutes to bake though. So you want to pull them out when you tap on them and they sound hollow, and when they are nice golden brown. Okay, the rolls are done. Look at that. Oh, so soft and fluffy. They are still warm, which I actually really suggest eating them still warm. So good. Most people don't want to add a cup of coconut milk into their bread most days. But for Thanksgiving, and the soft rolls, I'll take it. Okay, paired with this amazing soup, these rolls are just so good. The soup is delicious. You gotta, sop up the soup with the rolls. It's excellent. This is a great starter for Thanksgiving. We are going to have mashed potatoes. We will have a salad. We'll have these rolls and the soup. Oh, and stuffing and maybe a green bean casserole or something like that. But it is going to be delicious just starting off with these couple things. If I end up making those other things and have time to film them, I will do that. But for now, I hope that you enjoy these. I hope that you enjoy these dinner rolls. If you haven't made bread before, hopefully some of these tips will also help you, because generally that texture is really something that you are looking for in bread. Although all of the extra added fat from the coconut milk will change the texture of the bread significantly. So it's not going to be exactly the same as if you just made a regular yeast bread. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like to have a tutorial recipe video on making my artisan bread. I'd love to know if you're interested in that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to give it a like, and I will see you next time. Remember, it's all about the experiences, not the stuff.